Power in speech is no different from power in politics. It is seized, not given. No one hands you authority. No one grants you command. You take it or you lose it. Just as a prince bends men to his will with fear, spectacle, and calculation, a speaker bends minds with silence, presence, and memory. The stage is your battlefield. The crowd is your kingdom, and the words you choose are not decorations. They are weapons. But most speakers walk into that battlefield unarmed. They greet, they apologize, they ramble. In those first seconds, they surrender the throne. They are not remembered, they are not feared, they are not followed. You will be different. Today, you sharpen your arsenal. Today, you wield 7 laws Machiavelli himself would have demanded. The pause, the first 7 seconds, the anchor, the conquering gaze, the duel, the blade, and the march. These are not tips. These are not tricks. These are laws. Master them, and you will not simply speak. You will rule. Shut your mouth and let silence bleed power. When was the last time a pause froze you, when a speaker stopped and the air itself seemed to bow? It wasn't the words that shook you. It was the void that followed. Most fear silence. They flee from it. They shovel noise into the gap. Weak jokes, nervous apologies, empty chatter. Cowardice disguised as communication, and it stinks of desperation. Machiavelli knew better. A decisive word, followed by silence, strikes harder than paragraphs. The pause forces the room to bend around you. It builds tension. It brands your words into memory with fire. But you babble. You never stop. You smother your own ideas under a flood of noise. You are forgotten not because your thoughts are weak, but because you lack the spine to shut your mouth. Machiavelli records a silence more terrifying than steel. Pope Julius II marched into Perugia with a handful of guards. No speech, no threat, nothing. His refusal to explain paralyzed Giampaolo Baglioni. The tyrant surrendered without a fight, a silence conquered where armies might have bled. Nothing has changed. Drop a line. This strategy decides our future. Then stop. 2 beats. 3. Let the silence spread like a storm front. The room tilts. Eyes lock, hearts hold. That emptiness is not emptiness at all. It is domination. Here is your command. Deliver. Pause. Do not twitch. Do not rescue the weak. Let them drown in the weight. Authority blooms in the tension they cannot endure.
Hey guys, we're Wisdom, based in Abu Dhabi. We use AI tools to make these concepts come to life, but it's our amazing team who goes deep, breaking down powerful philosophical ideas and showing how they really apply in everyday life. We hope you enjoyed today's content.
He who controls silence controls the room. Master the pause and your spine hardens into steel. And when your will holds, the world follows. Boards stall on your silence. Rivals censor themselves. Crowds lean toward you. Inner self-command becomes outer sovereignty. And remember, this is the first law of excellent public speaking. Obey it, and you will not just speak. You will rule with presence. Seize the frame or be enslaved by it. Power does not wait for your comfort. Authority is not built slowly like a house, brick by brick. It is seized instantly. The room judges you in the first breath. Before your second sentence, the verdict is written. The crowd crowns you or crucifies you. There is no middle ground, but you squander this moment. You creep on stage like a supplicant entering a throne room. You shuffle, you mumble, you waste breath on limp gratitude. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here. Honor? Gratitude? You sound like a guest begging for crumbs at another man's table. And with those first pitiful words, your power dies. In seconds, you are branded, soft, ordinary, forgettable. A servant in a prince's hall. Machiavelli warned rulers about this very trap. A prince, he wrote, is judged by the ministers he surrounds himself with. If they are fools, he is crowned a fool. Judgment is not postponed, it is immediate. The same law governs you on stage. Your first words are your ministers, your tone is your counsel, your stance is your court. They crown you before your ideas even arrive. So ask yourself, what ministers are you sending forth? The kneeling ministers of apology and weakness, or the armored ministers of fire and steel? What would Machiavelli do? He would never crawl, he would never bow, he would open with a strike, a bold claim, a cutting question, a fact that rips through the air like a blade. He would seize the crown before anyone else in the room remembered they had the chance to wear it. At work, imagine the difference. A leader begins, "Good morning, thank you all for being here." Already the room slumps. Ordinary words, ordinary leader. Now compare, every decision we make today will make us dominant or make us irrelevant. The air sharpens, the room stiffens, the frame is seized, the crown rests on your head, because in public speaking, as in politics, there is no neutrality. You are either framing or you are being framed. Once framed as weak, you cannot claw your way back. Once branded ordinary, you remain ordinary. You cannot recover. So crown yourself in the first 7 seconds. Enter like a ruler, not a beggar. Let your voice carry certainty before your ideas even land. Let your body speak sovereignty before your mouth opens. The audience will not wait to decide who you are. Do not wait either. And here lies the secret. When you seize the frame, your internal certainty crystallizes. And once it hardens inside, the external world bends outside. Teams align without hesitation. Opponents pause before objecting. Agendas rearrange themselves around you. What begins as internal ignition becomes external enthronement. And remember, this is the second law of excellent public speaking. Master it, and your first words will not simply introduce you, they will enthrone you. Hammer one phrase until it brands their memory. The human brain is not a library. It does not archive your explanations. It does not cradle your careful logic. It does not replay your endless details. What it remembers are anchors, short, sharp, unyielding phrases hammered into the mind until they scar. But you drown your points in chatter. You babble, you ramble, you spray sentences like a broken hose, desperate for volume instead of precision. The result? Smoke instead of steel, air instead of iron. The crowd leaves with nothing to hold, nothing to repeat, nothing that outlives the night. That is not intelligence. That is incompetence disguised as effort. Machiavelli praised rulers who branded memory with force. Cesare Borgia understood this. After his minister Diorco unified a province with cruelty, Borgia staged the man's execution in the piazza. One bloody image, one unforgettable spectacle. Gratified yet horrified, the people carried that memory for years. That single act branded his rule deeper than any manifesto or speech could have. You must do the same, but with words. Your anchor phrase is your execution. It is your Diorco, the unforgettable imprint. Choose it with care, then repeat it with cruelty. Hammer it. Same words, same cadence, no variation, no synonyms, no softening. Precision is power. Think of it in practice. A leader telling his team, "We must be faster," will be forgotten within hours. But a leader declaring, "Speed wins, speed wins, speed wins," sears it into memory. 3 strikes, 1 brand. Days later, the details blur, but the anchor remains, echoing in every decision they make. Do not fear repetition. Weak men fear it. They mistake it for redundancy. But true power lies in repetition. Religion is built on repetition. Propaganda is built on repetition. Rule itself is built on repetition. What is hammered is remembered. What is remembered is obeyed. Discipline your tongue to one banner, and once you do, the world rallies under it. Teams quote you in meetings, markets echo your line, rivals repeat your words while trying to fight them. Inner focus becomes outer dominance. Your single phrase becomes their collective law. Repetition is not weakness, repetition is rule. And remember, this is the third law of excellent public speaking. Master it, and your words will not simply be heard, they will be remembered, they will be repeated, and they will be obeyed. Do not scatter your gaze, divide and rule with your eyes. Your eyes are not ornaments, they are weapons. To flit is to plead, to dart is to confess fear. A ruler's gaze does not ask, it commands. But you sweep the room like a beggar, fishing for approval. You look everywhere and rule nowhere. The audience smells your need, they relax, you lose them. Machiavelli counseled division. Split your subjects so none grow strong enough to threaten you. Divide, then dominate. The same law governs a crowd. Try to rule all at once and you rule no one. Divide the room into provinces, north, south, east, west. Select an anchor face in each. Speak to the person, not the mass. Hold them for a full sentence. Then move, deliberate, slow, to the next province. Rule a few, the many obey. Do not look at all. Command a handful, and the rest will fall in line. Train your gaze and your inner nerves quiet. Externally, zones of the room lean forward on cue. Allies surface, dissent thins. Inner stillness becomes outer compliance. And remember, this is the fourth law of excellent public speaking. Master it, and your eyes won't wander. They will conquer. Never list, make ideas duel to the death. The brain isn't a legal pad. It doesn't treasure lists. It craves conflict. It remembers the cut of contrast, but you heap point upon point like a bureaucrat. No blood, no stakes, no memory. Your message dies under paperwork. Machiavelli carved the world into blades. Better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. One line, one duel, centuries of echo. Translate it. Don't say, leaders should decide quickly. Say, leaders decide. Followers wait. Fight staged, memory forged. Turn every point into combat. Action versus hesitation. Order versus chaos. Strength versus softness. When ideas clash, the mind cannot look away. Memory is not forged in lists. It is forged in battle. Discipline yourself to frame oppositions and the outside world clarifies. Decisions accelerate. Priorities harden, negotiations tilt your way. Inner sharpness creates outer victories. And remember, this is the fifth law of excellent public speaking. Master it, and your words won't just be heard. They will clash, cut, and endure. End like an execution, sudden, final, undeniable. Nothing kills a speech faster than weakness at the end. Nothing. Trail off with thank yous, and you bleed out your own power. Recap like a trembling schoolboy, and you beg for approval. Smile awkwardly, and you announce your need. What follows? Pity, polite applause, polite forgetfulness. The crowd leaves thinking not of your message, but of your fragility. You asked for respect, and in asking, you lost it. Machiavelli understood. The end defines the memory. Cesare Borgia at Senigallia invited rebel leaders to parley. They entered expecting ceremony, negotiation, words. Instead, without warning, he ended them. No farewell, no ritual, just slaughter. One decisive silence thundered across Italy. Not a conclusion, an execution, and history remembered. So it must be with you. Your closing words should fall like the guillotine. One strike, then nothing. Craft a final line. Deliver it like a sentence handed down. Then stop. Do not soften. Do not bow. Do not ask for applause like a minstrel waiting for coins. Walk away. Let the silence do what your tongue has already commanded. Because power does not curtsy. Power does not crawl away politely. Power ends with a blade. When you master the cut, your inner neediness dies. No longer do you seek approval. You impose memory. And outside, the results follow. Rooms rise on your timing, not theirs. Negotiations close on your last word. Rivals are denied their rebuttal. Your silence becomes their prison. Inner finality becomes outer dominance. Power ends not with a bow, but with a blade. And remember, this is the 6th law of excellent public speaking. Master it, and your endings won't fade. They will strike, they will scar, they will last. Move like an army, never like a beggar. Space is not empty. Space is territory. The floor beneath you is land, and he who commands the ground commands the people. Every inch of stage, every step you take is either conquest or surrender. But you pace like a prisoner rattling his chains. You shuffle nervously. You drift without aim. Each wandering step leaks weakness into the room. The crowd sees not a leader, but a captive of his own anxiety. Chains where there should be armor. Pleading where there should be conquest. Machiavelli admired men who moved with ruthless intent. He wrote of Cesare Borgia, who took circumstance by the scruff of the neck. His steps were not accidents, they were invasions. Every advance was chosen, every stance was a statement. His very movement declared control before his tongue delivered a word. So understand this: your walk is your campaign. Your body is your army. Each step must signal authority. Each stance must mark territory. Here's the drill. When you strike with your key line, plant. Root yourself like an oak that no storm uproots. Stillness is sovereignty. Then, when you shift to a new idea, move deliberately across the stage. Do not wander. Do not shuffle. Advance as though seizing a province. Arrive. Halt. Deliver. Rule. Then march again. Territory by territory, flank by flank, until the entire stage lies under your control. Do not let your body betray you. Do not let your feet wander like exiles. Move with precision, and the room obeys. To master space is to master minds. And once you master this law, the transformation is absolute. Internally, your body obeys your will. Externally, the world aligns in response. Audiences track you without resistance. Cameras follow as if pulled by gravity. Entire rooms reorganize themselves around your path. Inner choreography becomes outer command. You are no longer a speaker drifting across a stage. You are a general marching across conquered ground. And remember, this is the 7th law of excellent public speaking. Master it, and you will not merely address a crowd. You will march through their minds, and you will conquer them.
Thanks for spending time in this. If this sparked a new way of thinking, hit like and subscribe to keep the ideas flowing. And don't forget, check the description for the links to the resources and the original books we used today. We'll see you in the next one.